The 90s were a weird time. People dressed like this, had haircuts like this, and everyone thought drugs were bad for some reason. Throughout this insanity, action movies prevailed. Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon effectively recreates the feeling of being Arnold Schwarzenegger in the later half of the game. The weapons, the story, most of the writing, everything in this game is trying to be a sci-fi action movie. So it poses the question, does the game do that sort of okay-ish? I think so. Music definitely succeeds in being a replication of the synth soundtrack of the 90s, like this track. Or this one. Or this one. I'm not qualified to explain to you why the soundtrack sounds so good, but just take my word that it is in fact good. The story is pretty much just a story of a movie but played in first person. Combined with the look of the enemies and wildlife, it can be pretty convincing. As convincing as the game with
I'm firing my laser
can be. Spoiler alert, you ride a laser-shooting dinosaur at the end. Lines like that are also the problem. When I'm playing this game, my brain is going 90s action, stupid haircuts, but when I hear
I'm firing my laser,
my mind jumps to 2010 4chan. Oh, come the fuck on. Keeping in line with Far Cry tradition, every villain must be killed in the most unsatisfying way possible. The main bad guy is killed in a cutscene, you kill a giant tentacle monster in a cutscene, and the lead evil scientist is killed off-screen. Let me kill, goddammit. Let's talk story. Again, Henry was never your typical 18-year-old. He never fit in with other high school kids. Myrtle never acted like she was 82, and she wasn't interested in bingo. Alone they were outsiders, but together they are spring into winter. This summer's most unusual buddy romantic comedy action thriller. Watch as they find each other in a world that frowns on their love, as Henry must rescue Myrtle from Red October terrorists out to steal her retirement pension in a film that critics are calling a movie? What the fuck am I reading? This is wrong, by the way. They trimmed out a lot of the classic Ubisoft collectibles that I just couldn't get enough of.
So I collect shit to unlock shit, and then I get shit. Dick shit. Whoever thought this was fun, I'm gonna collect your head and put it on my wall.
They also took out the High Points, a pinnacle of Ubisoft design, as well as the PS2 racing game NPCs.
Grenades. I think we can all agree these segues are top-notch. Guns. Let's talk about them.
Back in Far Cry 3, you had access to a shit ton of guns, most of which felt the same. Blood Dragon remedies this by giving you a basic weapon at the start of the game that evolves into some bullshit gun that shoots piss missiles that explode into cum rockets or some shit. The Phasertron starts out as a burst SMG and it eventually becomes a laser rifle with 180 rounds. The AJM starts as a pretty basic pistol, but in the later game, it can liquidate skulls for some reason. Cobra Khan turns into a rocket launcher. The Galera starts as a Terminator reference that turns into a weapon of mass destruction. But the bow, flamethrower, and minigun all stay the same. The last thing I want to talk about are the takedowns, and
Getting the door open.
5 out of 6.
Yeah, I'm good.
I just thought the clip